And we're live. Salam. Let me sit up straight. I need to be professional looking. Salam. My name is Mustafa. For those of you new, stop moving. Stop moving. There we go. For those of you new to the channel, my name is Mustafa. I am a game developer. A little bit about myself. So I've worked in the game industry. I worked at Treyarch for 3 years doing administrative work. I've worked at a indoor cycling, video games, software thing for like 3.5 years doing QA work. You can be quiet. Let's put you on do not disturb. Yep. Thank you. Thank you. All right, let's flip you upside down, and that should keep you quiet. And right now, I do all sorts of things. One of the things I do is I am the solo developer of Sabr Path, and I have a game, Nexus Defenders. It's on Steam. I'm trying to make time to work on Beware Tomorrow, which is a first-person stealth. Give me 1 second. Let me open up the window. Let's pause this for a second. Let's go here. Hold. All right, transition. Transition back. All right, I'm back. Okay, so the lighting's much better. I opened up the window, getting some sunshine on my face. But anyways, again, the intro, who I am. I do video games. I also do some education as well. And I do all sorts of things. Not because I'm a jack of all trades, but because the job market is not stable. So I gotta do all sorts of things to pay the bills. Still recovering. I got sick. Whoa, how long ago did I get sick? Like 2 weeks ago? The congestion's still in my throat. So anyways, today's main topic is going to be on this video that showed up in my feed. It's called, what's it called? Gaming has an insecure men problem. So this showed up on my feed. I did listen to about less than half of it, but I figure I'll go through this on the stream, listen to it. In fact, I'll watch the video that he's reacting to first, because that seems to be very short. So I'll do that first. But I figure this can be a topic we can talk about on the stream. I did a poll, and it seemed to be that this was the topic that... Let me turn this off. Yeah, there we go. This seems to be the topic that people are most interested in me talking about. Let me look at that poll again, just to make sure. Let's look at my poll. Excuse me. Hopefully I'm not doing that a whole bunch, but let's look at the poll. Where is it? Stop moving. There we go. YouTube Studio. Then I go down here. Looks like only 8 people voted, but that's fine. I did put it up a little late, but it seems that, let's see, 1, 2, 3 people voted for the other options, and 5 people voted for reaction to gaming has an insecure men problem. Though one person voted on something else, which says leave a comment, and I see no comments. So while I do appreciate people leaving, participating in the poll to help me figure out what to what to talk about, it's not very helpful to check the one that says something else, leave a comment, and then they don't leave a comment. That's, could be a little bit more helpful. I'd appreciate some more feedback. Anyways, so I did notice that my last video, my actual video, not live stream, but my last video, did go pretty well as far as getting a lot of reach, and some prominent Call of Duty YouTubers did reaction videos. At least 2 that I saw did reaction videos on my video, which helped boost the algorithm towards that video. I was trying to make another video, so let me talk about this real quick before I get into the main topic. So let me see. Is anyone joining the chat? Not yet. Anyways, hey, Wrangler, how you doing, buddy? A whole lot of holla. Is that holla or ola? That's ola. That's ola. Holla has 2 L's. Let me see. Let me make sure. Ola. Let me type that. Yeah, ola is 1 L. Yes, holla is 2 L's. Yeah, so ola. Thanks for joining, Wrangler. Yeah, what was I saying? I was talking about the video that I was trying to work on. So the plan was to condense my live stream discussion on Tim Sweeney's comments on AI, and also Marcus Pearson, aka Notch. And also I started to talk about another guy, can't remember his name, but he's like a guy who makes donut tutorials. Blender tutorials on making donuts. He's like the donut guy. So I had a bunch of footage to start cutting down, like over an hour's worth of footage to try to condense to something between like a 10 to 20 minute video. That was the goal, to do that. But I just couldn't find the time to really work on it because I've been working a lot at my warehouse job this past week. Like literally, I had 7 days in a row. This is my first day off since the last 7 days working. And so I just didn't have time. And at this point, I feel like it's a little late for me to complete that video, because basically the algorithm has windows with certain topics. Like a topic is hot, and that's the best time to talk about it. And if you don't talk about it during that window, then the algorithm kind of just ignores it. So at this point, my conundrum is, do I go ahead and finish editing that video anyways, and then risk it just getting like, just 1,000 or even less views? Is it worth it at that point? Or do I just scrap it and move on? That's the conundrum that I have. So I don't know, maybe I should make a poll. Can I make a poll on here? Let's see. Expand, start a poll. I mean, even though it's just Wrangler in here. Wrangler, what should I do? Let me make this poll. All right, the question is, should I make the video on Tim Sweeney with a EY, and the AI tag on Steam? ? And yes or no are the options. There we go. So there, I got a poll. That's the first time I've done a poll before. But while that's there, that's basically the situation with that video. The video is not even close to being done. I think I have maybe 5 minutes worth that are done editing, and then I have like over an hour of unedited portion, which a lot of it would probably be cut. So maybe the video would be closer to 20-ish minutes long. And that would just take a long time for me to edit. So that's why I'm contemplating, is it even worth it to make the video on that topic? Because, well, the thing is, here's the thing with that specific topic, with AI and video game development and yeah, the AI tag. I think this is not going to be the only time that topic will be trending. This is a topic that will keep coming back. So maybe I'll just wait until the next time someone else talks about it, like Tim Sweeney again, or whoever else talks about it again. Maybe that might be the best time. I think the topic is still relevant. Hey, Dylan, Dylan Boucher Designs, how you doing? Welcome to the stream, Wrangler. Okay, sometimes a video can be a little late, but the topic might have resurgence. If it does, your video will start gaining a second wind. Like my Metroid manga full spoiler videos when Metroid Prime 4 released. Yeah, I think that is a good point. So let me add some additional context to why this is something I'm contemplating. Because right now, so my warehouse job ends at the end of the month, December. There's a possibility they will hire me on, but it is seasonal. And seasonal means that the majority of the people will not get hired, and some people will stay. So I'm not going to look at it as I am guaranteed a job with this warehouse job. I'm looking at it as I need to be ready to transition to a new job in January. So right now, a lot of my time is going towards applying for jobs, as well as trying to apply for more Upwork gigs, such as making YouTube thumbnails. That's one of the gigs I started doing recently on Upwork, because I got to pay the bills. Rent is the deadline for every month. Every month, it's like, okay, rent. I need to have money for rent, and also the credit card bill, and so finances are top priority. I need to provide for my family. With that said, I do have with my education career, I do have a course starting mid or actually late January, so it's like January 20th. So I still have the first part of January with nothing. My class doesn't start until January 20th, which that's going to pay pretty well, but it's only one class and it only lasts 8 weeks. So the point still stands. I need to find work for the beginning portion of January. So that's why it's also on my mind. It's like, is it even worth it to edit this huge, over hour-long raw footage to make this AI video? Or do I just hold off, do it again later whenever it comes back? Because it's definitely, like you said, Wrangler, it'll come back. This topic will come back, and you too, Dylan. You said the topic's relevant. So yeah, I think the topic will be hot again, probably very soon. But do I go ahead and use the footage I made already? Or do I just do it all over again? And get a haircut too. I'll get a haircut when my class starts. And it's also cold outside, so I guess the messy hair is fine for now. But anyways, in that context, no. I appreciate the feedback. Yeah, like I said, this is a conundrum. It's like, do I do this? Because it's time consuming. Doing videos is really time consuming, and I need to focus on work. So, anyways, that's the update with my situation too, I guess. As far as what's going on with work and why I still am not working on Beware Tomorrow. At the very least, with Beware Tomorrow, which makes me feel less guilty about not working on it, at the very least, I didn't do like any sort of crowdfunding. I didn't do a Kickstarter. I didn't do early access. So no one paid me money for Beware Tomorrow, which makes me feel better that I'm not working on it. Because if somebody paid me money, then I'd be obligated to work on Beware Tomorrow to release it. But because no one has paid me any money, it's just me talking about it, and that's it. So at least I feel better that I don't owe it to anybody yet, but I owe it to myself to complete it because I should finish my projects. Plus, it makes me better as a game developer to finish my projects. Plus, I think this would be the best game I make yet. I mean, as of right now, I just have a bunch of college projects as well as Nexus Defenders, which Nexus Defenders is, I'm happy with how that turned out, but I think Beware Tomorrow would be a much better game. With that said, let's get going. Do I have anything else I want to talk about before I start this? Let me get my headphones on because I gotta listen to this video. And let me make sure that stuff is on the screen, like the chat. Let me see. Okay, so it looks like 100% of the poll. It doesn't even show. Oh, it says 2 votes. Okay, all right. So 100% of the poll says yes, though. It looks like Dylan, you changed to a no. So it's 50-50. So I think I might as well just... I'm going to make a choice right now. I'm just going to not do this AI video at the moment. When it comes back around, I'll talk about it again. I do feel a little bit like I missed out on an opportunity though with my latest video did really well. Let me see if I can pull up the stats on that real quick. Let's go back to YouTube Studio. So yeah, the stats. Okay, there we go. All right, let's move this over here. So yeah. So here's the video that I'm talking about, the Call of Duty Black Ops 7 video, which, at least 2 people who have Call of Duty channels, they did reactions to the video, and it seems like I got majority positive, very positive reactions. A few people are trolling, but that's always going to happen. The click-through rate's really good. I rarely get a click-through rate that's that high. Like it peaked up multiple times, and then it got low a few times. But this is a really great click-through rate. So YouTube definitely found the audience, and I gained. Let's see. I gained almost 200 subscribers during this period. Of course, this doesn't show everybody because some people have subscribe to me like once they click onto my channel, so it doesn't show all of the numbers, but it's like 180 something people that I gained. So I'm really close to 7K, and that's great. But I'm not capitalizing off of the success of this video by not having a follow-up video. But like, what am I gonna do? Do I just rush out a video that's not good? That'll probably hurt the channel. So I think the best thing to do is just make a good video when I have time. And right now, like this week, I've been very busy. Like I have 2 days off. I have today and tomorrow, and then I have to get back to work Saturday. But I think next week I have, let's see, I work only 3 days next week, like Monday, Wednesday. Let me get this off the screen. Camera only, transition back. Let's see, calendar. I don't want to show my personal calendar on the screen. So that's today. So I work Sunday and then Tuesday. No, Sunday, then Wednesday, and then Saturday. So I only have 3 days of work at the warehouse next week. So that's going to give me more time to do stuff like videos, that can be an opportunity to make a video. But at the same time, like I said, the priority is job applications, Upwork applications, trying to make sure that January isn't me searching for a job, because January my schedule opens up and I need to be ready. Like I need to hit the floor running. So anyways, I guess it depends on how deep the production that you are. If it's done or close to done, publish it. It will certainly gain you nothing if you shelve it. So here's with Beware Tomorrow. The mechanics are there. It basically comes down to I need to fix up the visuals just a bit. It's the lighting. I wasn't too happy with the lighting. It's mainly lighting. The lighting, I wasn't happy to it. I wasn't happy with it, and the shadows. So I was working on it, and then it ended up becoming a little bit worse looking. But I just need to fix that up. And since the mechanics are there, it's basically a lot of it is me putting together the puzzles. And the type of puzzles are, think old Resident Evil games. I haven't played the newer ones, but in the old Resident Evil games, it's like, okay, you find a specific key that will open a specific door, and then you have like 4 things to move around. Okay, you got to shuffle these things, and then it'll open a different door. Just a bunch of different puzzles to get you through the area. And that's the type of puzzles I'm going to have in my game, like finding a key or, flipping switches and stuff like that. So the mechanics are already there. It's just a matter of me getting those puzzles set together. And then I have to implement the story, which is not going to be very story heavy, but just implement enough story, a few jump scares, and an ending. That's basically the game. So it's not in a state where I can release it, but it is in a state in which it's very close to being finished if I can dedicate enough time to it. But it is lower in my priority list as far as stuff to do with my time. So that's the quick explanation. Hey, Mr. 10 Years, welcome. Glad you joined. Glad I catch up one of your streams, because I always miss out. It's either streams ends or busy get into the stream. Well, I'm glad you caught the stream. I haven't gotten into the main topic yet, so you joined at a good time. Glad that you're able to join. All right, so let me end the poll, because I think I've made up my mind. I'm just going to scrap the video. And I'll just come back around to that topic whenever it's hot again, because it's going to be hot again very soon. I'm very sure of it. So let's go into the main topic. The main topic, I saw this video. Where you at? Where you at? I got too many windows. This video. All right, let me move these. Let me condense some stuff. Let's close this, close that, close that. Let's put my notes over here. And you get a little bit bigger so I can see you a little bit better. And then you go over here. All right. And then you will be rewound over here. All right. Yeah, that's near the beginning. And I do have some timestamps that vidIQ generated for me, so I don't have to go through the whole. This video is pretty long. It's like 42 minutes. So I'm going to increase the speed to... where's the speed? I should increase it to like 1.5. Where's the speed? There it is. Let's make it 1.5. And let's see. Okay, let me turn on the audio so you guys can hear. Okay. Hey, Servan Balahi, welcome. How you doing? Oh, I skipped some stuff in the chat. Let me go back in the chat. Okay. Okay, Wrangler, you said, I guess it depends on how deep. Okay, yeah, I saw that one. Yeah, don't rush it. Was it Mimo that said a delayed game can eventually be good and rush game be bad forever? Yeah, I think that sounds like something he said. Or is David Jaffe? That's a joke. Oh man, that came out red. Oh, I should lower my volume a little bit. All right. Okay. All right. So let me know if you guys can. Let me switch. Let's switch over here. So this video, gaming has an insecure men problem. So it's not at the very beginning. I'm at 12 seconds in because they cuss in the beginning. Like, why do I want to just have them cuss? But so this is the guy, Paladin Prose. So Paladin Prose, let's open up his channel real quick. So let's make him stop talking. Well, tell me if he's
brand new cutting edge TTRPG.
Is he not loud enough? How's his volume? How's his volume compared to me?
From Critical Role and Darrington Press that is specifically designed to help you and your friends.
Let me know if his volume is good or if I should lower it or higher it. Anyways, while you guys are letting me know and I'm waiting for the chat to catch up because of the delay between me and the chat. So his video, it's doing actually very well right now. It's I don't know, the algorithm likes it right now for some reason. It showed up in my feed and he has 100, almost 160,000 views on this video. So gaming has an insecure men problem. And so he doesn't have, I mean, his channel is about as big as mine. His main, from what I see, his main theme or topic is like tabletop role playing. That's the main thing he does. Why a bad Ubisoft game in PS2 and PS3 era is better than a bad Ubisoft game PS4, PS5 era. Hey, how's it going, Mr. 10? I already said hey to you. Anyways, a bad Ubisoft game in those eras is better than a bad Ubisoft game in current eras because during those eras, a bad game just meant that the game had, it was just a little boring, bad design, just something that hurts it. Nowadays, the bad game is bad because it's designed to waste your time, like because Ubisoft games are all like open world games that are designed to waste your time. Plus, not only waste your time, but drain your wallet. They have microtransactions to try to take all your money. That is what we call a projection. What's what we call projection? So can anyone let me know if the volume was good as far as this guy over here?
Daggerheart is the brand new cutting edge teaser.
Anyways, so yeah, let me know if his volume's good. But getting back to what I was talking about. So his video is doing pretty well. Talking about, let's go to these guys. These guys are Black Lodge Games. So his video is a reply to or a response to Black Lodge Games, and this is the video that they made. I'm gonna watch this first. This is gonna be my first time watching this. It says "My Gay Son." Like, this is clearly like what's the term? Rage bait or something like that. My Gay Son. God of War, a game for chicks and midwits. So I'll watch this real quick. This is gonna be my first time watching. I'm gonna assume they cuss. So quick disclaimer, I'm pretty sure these guys cuss a lot, but it's a short video. We'll watch this real quick. Between TT, RPGs, and gender bending culture war topics, the algorithm is probably in love with that video. I just played a highly acclaimed bad Ubisoft game, Beowulf, and it's fun. Man, Beowulf, man, that movie was interesting. That could have been really good, but like, it was uncanny. It had the uncanny value with their faces. I remember being like, this could have been a lot better. I only watched it once. So anyways, let's get watching their video.
Every single character.
Okay, so let's speed this up just a tad so we get through this quickly. I have not played God of War Ragnarok, but I have played God of War 2018, and I really liked it. Let's see what they have to say about it. I'm assuming due to the title, they did not like it, but let's get into this.
God of War is a cuck, a failure, fat, ugly, manipulative, or weak. Without exception, all of them deserve to have their heads torn off in a violent QuickTime event. But the player is robbed of this opportunity and is instead punished with hours upon hours of unskippable cutscenes, filled with saccharine midwit art-ho jank. God of War used to be the ultimate male power fantasy. It was fun, visceral, and bombastic. Kratos died the greatest hero in history, having destroyed Olympus and protected the world from Greek people for all time. His story was complete. He achieved the resolution and outcome he wanted, and no one was able to stop him. It was satisfying.
Okay, I gotta stop them right there. So, like, his ending, he destroyed the world. Like, I mean, I might, maybe I'm misremembering it because it's been like over a decade since I played God of War 3. But I'm pretty sure he like basically, so he killed all of the deities, and like darkness, like this scene, like you saw the world was like filled with darkness. It wasn't that he killed the deities and freed the world and the world is now light and it was a happy ending. It was definitely a dark ending that he basically looked at the destruction that he laid upon the entire world. So I don't know whether to talk about like, oh, this is the ending. The ending was perfect. This is what men want. Okay, I'm not saying the ending was bad. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is what they're saying does not match what I remember the game being like. He destroyed Greece. Yeah, he destroyed it.
And awesome, but gamers and nerds cannot ever accept that something has died. Their insatiable appetite for slop and nostalgia created an inescapable gravity well of consumer demand for more Kratos, and the developers delivered in the only way they knew how. Come up with a new character and make a spiritual sequel series that could stand on its own? No. They decided to dig up Kratos' corpse and inject him with birth control so that he could punish anyone who loved his awesome deeds. The only way to continue a story that is already complete is to tear it down, deconstruct it, subvert the foundations of what made it great.
So like they're probably gonna go into their reasoning for this, but I don't see it as destroying the character. It is growth of the character. So I'm not gonna go into too long of a tangent, but I'm not gonna say that they are intentionally making a masculine story. I feel like the story was very masculine though. At least 2018. I didn't play Ragnarok again. But one major aspect of masculinity is to adapt and endure through hardship. Or I said that backwards. To endure and adapt through hardship. And that is part of growth for man. To get hit by a challenge and then learn to get through it and then become better at the end of that challenge. And men go through these challenges throughout their entire life. Everybody will go through challenges and phases of hardship. And, it's up to the man as to whether they're going to, just take it and crumble, or if they learn to endure and adapt. And I think that's why I feel like it is a story of growth for Kratos, because he was growing from the rage that he had in the first games. I played 1, 2, and 3. I didn't play Chains of Olympus because it got bad reviews and it seemed like it was just more of the same. I did not play the PSP or the PS Vita games. But from 1, 2, and 3, those games, Kratos did not go through a growth arc. He was very one-dimensional. It was entertaining, but he was a one-dimensional character. He did not go through growth. He like him at the end of 3, he was not a drastically different character from the first game. It was mainly a bunch of yelling and anger, and that can be fine. But to say that was a well-written character, I think that is it's an exaggeration. And the journey he went through in 2018, I think that was really like a journey of growth. He wanted to leave behind his lifestyle that he decided that, or he learned that, this is wrong. I shouldn't live like this. I shouldn't be full of rage. I shouldn't be this person. I need to grow. And that's also a huge aspect of fatherhood too, because fatherhood, it's a lot of it's trial and error. While yes, there's a lot of it that you learn from other people on how to be a father, but when you're raising a child or multiple children, it's about figuring out what works with that child. How do you try to raise and teach this child the correct way? And you're going to do a lot of things that's incorrect, because the child's a child. The child is going to reject certain things. And so you got to find different methods. And I think that's why, I don't want to go too long into this, but I don't think it's destroying the character. I think it's definitely a path of growth, which is doing the character a service. Let me see the chat real quick. Kratos is dropping a enhanced version of the Punisher into Greek mythology. Yeah, pretty much. Just vengeance and anger. God of War is 2016. 26. Was it 2016? I thought it was 2018. When did God of War come out? Am I saying 2018 and I'm wrong? God of War PS4. Whoop, no, not PC. PS4. PS4. Yeah, 2018. Okay, so yeah. God of War 2018 is bad because you're using Last of Us style gameplay. I don't agree it's Last of Us style gameplay. I mean, I feel like they're different. I feel like the game plays more like it's more like an easier Souls-like. Like Souls-like gameplay, but wrapped around making it more action heavy. He went through 7 stages, shame, disgrace in the first game, 2018. I'm not saying he didn't. Well, that's getting red. I just need to not yell. Yeah, I'm not saying he went through no character arc. I definitely remember he went through a lot, but his overall character, I don't feel like he went through a huge transformation. That's basically what I'm saying. All right, let's get back into this video.
And punish the player for ever liking it in the first place. People played God of War because it was cartoonishly violent and because it was fun to kill the gods. The new God of War games.
Yeah, but the thing is, that's why no one bought Chains of Olympus, because at that point everyone was like, yeah, we've seen this already. Like, Chains of Olympus was more the same, and that stagnation gets old.
Entire runtime showing Kratos as an apologetic and guilt-racked shell of his former self. Everyone knows that his quiet stoicism is just a mask, and every time that mask slips and the player is allowed to be Kratos for a few brief moments, they're immediately told by the game that this is bad, dangerous, and wrong. All of the things that make Kratos a man are evil. These games are made from a fundamentally feminine point of view. Everything that we all celebrate about Kratos in the past is now scary and dangerous, and we're subjected to endless midwit dialogue and philosophizing about it. And this is why midwits and women have absolutely eaten this game up.
I've never heard this term before, midwit. Am I old? Yes, I'm old. Anyway, okay. Hey, Cosgrove, welcome. Glad you joined the chat. I really don't need a great or even good story in an action game. The God of War reboot was just an early example of the effeminization of males in modern media. Sorry, I try to. I'm sorry I don't read your guys' chat posts exactly as written. I hope you don't take offense. I don't agree. I think like, especially as a father myself, when I played through 2018, I was like, yeah, this is like the way how he wants to not lead his son towards the same dark path he went to. These are things I think about all the time. Like, all the mistakes I made throughout my life, especially major mistakes. And I want to make sure my kids don't go through those same mistakes. And of course, I can't prevent them from making mistakes. They're going to make their own mistakes. But I want to at least prepare them to the point that they don't, at the very least, they don't copy the same mistakes I made. So yeah, that's a major reason why I really like that game. Excuse me. Let's get back into this.
God of War video is either pseudo-intellectual analysis of the deep characters and moral philosophy of the franchise, or videos of chicks bawling their eyes out about the tortured family drama of fatherhood and intergenerational trauma. It's a worldview rooted entirely in fear and shame. You're being bamboozled by the melodramatic emotionalism of the dialogue and tears of the characters to distract you from the fact that Kratos could solve literally every problem in Midgard just by telling his son to shut the fuck up and watch daddy take his belt off and go to work. Just think about it for 5 seconds. Is this place one that actually deserves to exist? Is there a single character that doesn't deserve to have the shit beat out of them? Do any of these people look in...
But that's... I'm not sure if this guy is is this guy saying that just to be funny, or is he serious? Because like, if the solution is just kill everybody, that's like, where's your creativity? And like, you're there's no creativity in that, just to kill everybody. And also, it doesn't translate to any sort of real moral lesson, which ends up having less of a connection. Like, if I experience a story in which the character goes through some sort of a like a moral lesson or an internal growth arc that I can relate to, then that allows me to connect more with that character, because what the character does and what the character thinks, the character's personality, those things are what bridge the character and myself the most. And yeah, it's fun to have characters that just go on, power trips. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Commando is a fun, goofy movie. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger just goes around. Like I think Commando is like the pinnacle of like just over the top Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like he literally just walks around shirtless with a giant machine gun, killing hundreds of people, and they just happen to miss him. They all miss, like they're shooting back and they all miss him. And he's just in the middle, like he's just shooting everybody. It's guilty pleasure. It's goofy, and there's a time and place for that. But I'm not going to say, yeah, John Matrix, he's a character I can connect with. Like he's just a campy character. That's it.
Intimidating at all. Instead of powerful enemies to defeat, Kratos is walking on eggshells around fat alcoholics and pencil-necked dorks. Is there anyone who thought that Odin seemed imposing when he made his entrance? He's 5 fucking feet tall, and this is just a humiliation ritual for people who like God of War.
I just real quick, I did not play Ragnarok, not because of like Sweet Baby Inc. or anything like that. Like I learned about that later on, but the reason why I haven't played it is just simply I barely have time to play games anymore. If I do play games, I play games with my kids, like Mario. And 2, I'm just broke. I can't buy new games at the moment. So that's basically it. And I'm just that's the reason why I haven't played it. I think I'll eventually play it. I'm not sure.
This is student film level dog shit. Zeus was literally Mr. Olympia. So what's a real threat look like? Obviously, a chinless weakling from Brooklyn. The only reason that Kratos doesn't just immediately rip his head off is because the character has already internalized the feminized worldview they want you to swallow. Kratos doesn't kill Odin and Thor because he doesn't want his son to turn out like he has, which is insane because the message is that Atreus shouldn't stand up to obvious evil. He should just let bad faith actors walk right into his house and put his family in danger. You know what would be an actual good thing to show to your child? That you care enough about them that you won't let losers into your house who want to weaponize your good nature against you. There is nothing good, heroic, or laudable.
So I'll slightly agree that I think there needs to be examples of righteous justice, righteous violence, because there's a time and place in which a man should protect the family and use violence to stop that danger. But at the same time, depending on the child, like their age, their maturity, etc., like you don't want to just expose them to everything. Like if, for example, let's just say, worst case scenario, there's someone attacking my family. I have to fight the attacker. Ideally, I mean, of course, you can't control, especially in such a hostile event, you can't control all the factors. But ideally, I would want my family to like run away and be beyond visual vicinity, not only for of course for safety, but like I don't want them to see what's going on. Like I'd rather it be me and the attacker than have them, like if like this guy's talking about, okay, beat the dude to a bloody pulp. Like, is that what you want to show your kids? Like, you want your son to see you beat somebody to a bloody pulp? That's just showing that, like, anger is uncontrolled and unchecked. Anger is acceptable, and anger is a motivator. I think anger is not a bad thing when it's used to motivate towards the correct thing, or the correct outcome. But unchecked anger is like what like makes you no different from an animal. I mean, just a quick example as to like what why anger is a good motivator. So basically, let's say a man and wife are in bed sleeping, and they hear a sound outside. The sound startles the family. The woman, her heightened senses would lead her to, or heightened emotions would lead her to fear. And the man's heightened emotions should lead towards something like anger, which leads him towards getting out of bed to go check out what the sound is. Otherwise, like if the man's heightened emotions lead to fear, then he stays in bed and, is a coward. So there are positive outcomes through using, anger as a motivator. Let me get to the chat. Not much. Okay. Hey, angry chair. Thanks for joining the chat. So let's get back to this. Not too much more of this
without letting some nerd walk right over you. The world of Midgard is a miserable place that's run by miserable people. I mean, Freya and Odin raised Baldur to be a psychotic meth head, and by accepting the writer's framing, Kratos is doing the same thing to Atreus. Baldur became indestructible because Freya wanted to keep him, quote, safe. And this is exactly what Kratos does the entire time. He's afraid that his son will have agency and make his own choices, which will cause him to suffer danger. So to avoid this, Kratos spends the entirety of 2 games effectively castrating his son. He lets Freya, that demonic witch that raised Baldur, into his life and tells Atreus that they should be friends with her, despite her poisonous worldview being the explicit cause of all the suffering in the land. All masculine power is viewed as dangerous and evil, and despite the best efforts of the game developers, they end up showing that suppressing masculinity creates a hellish world of suffering and anguish. Would Midgard be a better place if Odin wasn't basically just a woman with a beard? Would Baldur have been such a lunatic freak if he had been allowed to live the dangerous life that his nature demanded? Would Thor have been so fucking fat if he just stood up to his father, who he could literally devour? But violence is bad. Well, you know what? That's what caused this world to be in the state that it's in already. Kratos suppressing his nature makes it worse. He needs to kill gods. That's his identity. Kratos needs violence like Dave Blunt's needs lean and sheet cakes. He wouldn't be the same man without it. The world is hell. Nobody learns anything. Kratos fails as a father, and the devs made $1 trillion. If you've been fooled into thinking these games were good, put down the impossible.
Okay, so like I said, I didn't play the second game, Ragnarok. So I don't know like the context of the scenes that he shown, but I don't feel like in the first game I didn't get the impression that Kratos's goal was to take away options from his son. Like, I got the impression that he saw the potential of his son becoming rage-filled like how he was, and he didn't want his son to be like him. And I completely, I get that because, I see my son, especially my oldest son, and, I don't see, when he's at his worst, it's not that I see me. I actually see my older brother. And I don't want my oldest son to become like what my older brother, what with his anger issues. I don't want him to like follow that same path. So, I mean, I don't want to go too much into my family. But the point is, I completely understand the what's the word? Not ambition. Or goal. No, it's not goal. The intent of Kratos in 2018, where he sees Atreus and he's like, oh no, I don't want him to go rage filled. And also, like, if Kratos just goes rage-filled and beats everybody to the pulp, then Atreus does the same thing. So he's telling him it's okay. The audio and video is low. Or just, okay, all right, I'll raise it up a little bit. Okay, yeah. Let me know if you need me to raise it up even more. So this is Paladin Prose, and I got some timestamps here, so I might skip around, especially since how this video is a bit long. But let's get going.
We watched our whole video.
So the other day, I came across a video on my YouTube homepage titled God of War, a game for chicks and midwits. As you can see here, the thumbnail...
I mean, that thumbnail is pretty hilarious. So, hey, Wrangler, $5 super chat. I just updated my debit card with Google, so I'm testing it here. I'm glad you're testing it here, Wrangler. I appreciate the super chat. I really appreciate the support. Let me give that a little... There we go. I'll put the little heart on there. Give me... What's this? 100. Boom. Bam. There we go. I appreciate it. Thank you very much, Wrangler. Like I say in every stream, that super chats are appreciated, though they are not required. So if anyone wants to support the channel, just give the video a like, and that always helps the algorithm. Any engagement, likes, typing in the chat, leaving comments, all those things, they end up helping the algorithm, because YouTube wants more engagement and all that. But anyways, again, thank you very much. I appreciate it. So let's get back into this. But yeah, that's my gay son thumbnail. Rage bait, but I think it's funny.
Video features Kratos from the modern God of War reboot hugging his son Atreus with big bold text that says,
Let me make
"My
it a
gay
little louder.
son." Now, I am a guy. You know what I mean? I'm a man. I'm a dude. Some have even called me bro from time to time. And I gotta say, no matter how hard you try, if Google knows that you identify...
Is this guy... I don't know if these guys being funny, or if he's like autistic or something, but I mean, the way how he says, "I'm a guy. Some people have called me bro." Okay. The way how he delivers it with a straight face makes me question whether he's joking or if he's just a little socially awkward.
As a man, then this type of hyper-masculine brain rot is definitely going to come across your feed, whether you like it or not. And this also means that I am no stranger to manosphere content. And clearly, I am into the classically manly hobbies of video games and tabletop role-playing games. So I did what any sane person would do. I clicked on the video. And that's when I realized that this video was published...
That's a mistake. You don't just click on a video just because the thumbnail rage baited you.
...channel that I was already aware of, called Black Lodge Games. These guys have been on my radar for a little while now. I first discovered their channel during the whole "is YouTube killing D&D channels" drama that happened a little while back. I remember thinking that this guy right here made a pretty solid argument in his video, though he was perhaps a bit intense in his delivery. So yeah, I like to support other creators in the RPG community, so I subscribed to the channel and I moved on without thinking much about it. But then I saw this God of War video, and I began to realize a very concerning trend. Now, it seems to me that Black Lodge Games is run by two different individuals, and as far as I can tell, they don't share their names online, so for the duration of this video essay, I'm going to have to just refer to them as either Black Lodge Games or these guys or this guy, so please bear with me on that. Anyway, in their video, these guys make a very shallow argument that because the God of War reboot explores certain themes like emotional vulnerability, parenting, the cycle of trauma, and...
So, I'm just going to stop him real quick, because I want to... I'm not disagreeing with anything he said so far, or agreeing. I'm not neither disagreeing or agreeing. It's just a quick tangent. He's talking about emotional vulnerability. I really do not like the term vulnerability that is always used when it comes to being more socially open, because vulnerability is not... It's not a good thing. No one ever looks at something and says, "Yeah, that's really great because it's vulnerable. Look at that house. It's so vulnerable. Look at that army. They're so vulnerable." Like, vulnerable is not a good thing. Vulnerable means weak. It has a weak point. If I open up and express something because I'm trying to make an emotional connection, then I think saying being more open is a more appropriate term than saying vulnerable. That's a vague intellectual word, vulnerability nowadays. Yeah, like it makes no sense to say, look how vulnerable. Look at that man over there. He's so vulnerable. Okay, get him some steroids. Get him some protein. Do something. Get him on TRT.
Seemingly most important to these guys, what it really means to be a man. That this game sucks, and that it was made for the express purpose of punishing men for being men. They really lean into the idea that some dubious, creatively bankrupt cabal of man-haters developed the God of War reboot to punish and shame men for enjoying the previous trilogy.
Why did he... Okay, so he went from showing a bunch of feminists...
All of man-haters developed the God
and then this meme of... I don't know, is this like some famous dude? But just... black dudes on a computer. Is he trying to say something here? Okay, comes from the same people who use weakness as an aesthetic. Yeah. Or thinks it's a virtue. Yeah, like thinking that victimhood is a virtue.
To
I
punish
agree.
and shame men for enjoying the previous trilogy. A trilogy of games that focuses primarily on over-the-top violence, all in the spirit of that falsified and overblown, hyper-masculine take on Greek mythology that we're all so familiar with thanks to the popularity of Zack Snyder's 300 and other properties like God of War that became so popular somewhere in the early to mid-2000s. Anyway, the idea that these guys are peddling here is that because this game exists solely to punish manly men for enjoying manly men things, that the new God of War games could then only be enjoyed by people who they describe as chicks, meaning women, obviously, and midwits, meaning, and this is according to Urban Dictionary, people with a middling intellect, neither smart nor dumb, especially who try to appear smarter than they really are.
Yeah, I've never heard the term midwits before. I don't know. It must be like going around certain circles of the internet that I don't get near. See, I'm not familiar with this guy nor Black Lodge Games. It's just this guy's video showed up on my feed, and I was like, oh, okay, all right, let me click on this. What is the insecure men problem?
Now, I'd say that's a real pot calling the kettle Black Lodge Games type situation, but as a fellow bald and bearded white man who grew up feeling weird and insecure about all of my nerdy hobbies, I feel the need to express just how wrong these guys really are. But before we get...
I love that 10 to 80% to 10, 80, 10 graph is so regularly true. Just while we're talking about that real quick, this is a side thing just because where is this? Let me find it. Let's go to image search. Images. Men IQ bell curve versus women. Okay, yeah. Okay, so this is a hypothesis. So this is not a, let me open up this image. This is not like proven to be true, but there are studies that indicate there might be truth to this. But when it comes to like IQ, this is what it looks like comparing women to men. So the point of this graph is saying that women are generally going to be more clumped up right here in the middle. So this is average IQ right in the middle. 100 is the average IQ. And there's going to be more women who are average IQ compared to men because there's larger variance in men's IQ. So the majority of women, like according to this hypothesis, is that the majority of women are average IQ. And there are some genius women as well as some moron women. But when it comes to men, due to the larger distribution of variance, there's going to be more genius men than women, but also more moronic men due to the difference. But I just want to show, like, this is, it's not proven. This is a hypothesis, but there is, there are studies that help support this hypothesis. Let's go back to the chat real quick. He got the he got the egghead bald. Men get the extremes. Women usually more into it. Yeah. That's basically when it comes to this, like the men are more extremes. This also helps support the argument as to why there are more like male inventors, male scholars, etc., because it's more male heavy when it comes to the genius IQ, but then also at the same time there's more male dummies. Anyways, let's close that out. Let's get back to the video. By the way, it's good to see Lara Croft back in some way aesthetically. I as far as her looks, I mean, it is what it is. I'm not gonna make a big deal about it. The gameplay looks cool. It looks more like the classic Tomb Raider games rather than the trilogy. I think they call it the survival trilogy or something like that. But the one where it's supposed to be more realistic, those played more like Uncharted. And the difference with those three games and what Lara Croft usually is like is that she's more acrobatic, like she can literally do flips in the air and stuff like that. So the new gameplay that I saw looks like they're going back towards that, where she can do flips in the air and she has two pistols, dual wielding pistols. Have you played the remastered? No, I did not. I did not play the remastered. Latest Tomb Raiders become more like Uncharted, run and gun, than platforming adventures. Yeah, that's I agree with that. That graph makes no sense. Which graph makes no sense? The one that I showed the men versus women? Why does it make no sense? Anyways, I got caught up with the chat. Let's go back to this guy.
Get into all of this, I do want to make something very clear. I am in no way, shape, or form endorsing or encouraging anybody to go over to Black Lodge Games and dog on them or call them names or do anything lame like that. Remember to fight darkness with light and, be on your paladin type shit. That's what we're all here to do on this channel. I've actually been back and forth on whether or not I should even make this video, to be honest, and I'm still feeling a bit nervous sitting here and recording right now. But I'm overcoming that fear because I know in my bones that this message, this idea that men are under attack and that women and woke midwits are ruining our culture, the sacred culture of gaming, deserves a thoughtful response and counterpoint presented by another guy who loves this nerd stuff just as much as they do. And regardless of how you feel about this, it is undeniable that millions of men around the world are
This is completely off topic, but the fact that this guy has a TV screen behind him, he's completely missing out on an opportunity to put like the logo of his brand or something going on back there rather than me seeing the reflection of this slime. I mean, I don't really have anything going on behind me. I don't have a TV or anything, but at least I positioned this. At least I intentionally positioned that so that's I have something behind me, because people were complaining in my very earlier videos. People were like, there's some people who are complaining that my room just looks like an empty bedroom. I'm like, okay, all right, is that a big deal? I guess. So I try to make sure that like it's a better angle. I got that, but I keep on looking over here and I see the reflection of that. I feel like that's a missed opportunity to just put something on the TV screen.
right
Let me go back to the. I have aspects of myself at both ends of the graph. I'm genius levels on some things, not as well. Carlos Mencia said, "Dee." I don't put too much weight on IQ. I have never taken an IQ test. I don't plan on taking an IQ test because I agree with you. I think that everyone has their strengths and weaknesses, and like someone could be really smart when it comes to computer stuff, but then they're really dumb when it comes to some other topic. So yeah, I agree with you, and that's one of the main reasons why I don't put too much time into IQ. But I just the bell, since we're talking about the bell curve, I just wanted to bring that up because it was an interesting hypothesis to go over.
This is not a joke. It's not a meme. It's not an edgelord shitpost. It's the reality of the world that we're all living in. I know firsthand that there are a lot of guys out there right now who are feeling very lonely and very marginalized. It can feel like the whole world is out to get you. And
I hate that term, feeling marginalized. And yeah, I agree with what he said, that there is a male loneliness problem. Like he mentioned that men are lonely. And a lot of it has to do with feminism, making it hard for men to connect with women. Can you guys hear my kids scream? I hope you can't. Anyways, but also social media is ruining things as well. So I agree with him, but I just don't like the whole like marginalized. Why would I use these goofy words like marginalized? Let me catch up with chat. Learning exposes our strengths and weaknesses. Not every genius is an inventor, or neither every inventor is genius also. I can agree with that, yes. I agree.
if you rolled your eyes at that last statement, yeah, trust me, I get how ridiculous it is.
Yes, I roll my eyes because I don't like you using marginal. Why are people... Kids are screaming right outside my door. Why are there kids in this building? Everything is a hyperbole in 2025.
Sounds. But whether you like it or not, it is the truth. And these days, all anyone seems to want to do is to be mean to each other online, largely about stuff that doesn't really matter. Like
that was
video
funny.
games or what the truth. And these days, all
I hope this is a real video.
anyone seems to want to do is to be mean to each other online, largely about stuff that doesn't really matter, like video games or what version of Dungeons and Dragons that you prefer to play. And I mean, just think about it for a second. It's kind of crazy how political the gaming community is these days. But at the end of the day,
that's because like there has been a push to divide us, so everything has become at the very least everything has been pushed into social politics. And that was by intent to get us to argue with each other over things that we should agree with or not care about.
Strong believer that video games and tabletop RPGs are works of art, and art has always been political. Art has.
I question myself the game thing about how Magic the Gathering has gone woke. I question myself the same thing about how Magic the Gathering has gone woke. Man, I miss Magic the Gathering, but it's expensive.
Always existed to communicate ideas and help others experience and feel things that they otherwise couldn't or wouldn't. So in that way, I guess all of this does make a lot of sense. Anyway, I don't think it's much of a stretch to say that at this point, based on this video and other content like it, that a lot of people, who I personally feel are primarily insecure men, believe that chicks and midwits are the cause of this dystopic hellscape that we're all living in today. This isn't just games, people. This isn't just identity politics. This is a war for intellectualism. At least that's the message that these guys, Black Lodge Games, and other people like them, seem to want to peddle to their audience. Because honestly, men don't want to feel dumb and lonely. They want to feel smart and appreciated, just like everybody else in the world. Shocker, I know. And I'd like to believe...
So, I get what he's saying, but I feel like the example that so his focus on like Black Lodge Games, pushing this narrative, which I do agree with him that Black Lodge was a bit on the exaggerated end as far as, because at some point in the video I straight up said, are they joking or are they serious? Because I couldn't tell. And it was almost like an Andy Pants video, because Andy Pants is very he's basically the face of like, oh, this game was made by women, and then he'll like straight up do disingenuous stuff, like show a picture of the studio during their like Women's Day thing, because that's what every studio does. They'll take a group picture of all the women for Women's Day. And so it's like a group picture of, let's say, 30 women. and the studio is over 100 people, like maybe 200 people, and they show 30 women. And Andy Pants will take that picture of 30 women and say this was the entire studio. And it's just disingenuous. Like he's like the definition of rage bait. Hey, Mr. Tito Butler, I'm glad that you joined in. Welcome. I'm a little late to the live chat. I'm at work, so I'll be able to just be in the background. Well, I appreciate you supporting. Thanks for joining in and listening in. Andy Pants is funny. I don't agree with most of his takes. So yeah, like Andy Pants, like I have watched a number of his videos, but at a certain point, I'm like, man, this guy, I agree with some of the things he's saying, but then he'll push it to an extreme for intentional rage bait, which has helped him get to his point of like 200 some subscribers. Like, I mean, it's working, you know, going the rage bait route.
That not many people are really buying into this type of stuff, but just take a look at the comment section on the videos that they post and the numbers that these types of videos are pulling in compared to the
whoa, what was that? Casting Ocean as a post. That's funny.
Videos that they post and the numbers that these types of videos are pulling in compared to the other content that they post, and it becomes very clear, at least to me, that their message of intellectual warfare against chicks and midwits is definitely resonating with a lot of angry, insecure men. And honestly, more than anything, that just breaks my fucking heart. Because
see, I think it's funny that he focuses on Black Lodge Games rather than Andy Pants, because like Andy Pants is basically same type of audience, but like he's more extreme and also more popular, but maybe he felt more betrayed by Black Lodge Games because they are also tabletop gamers, and he was like, oh no, they disagree with me. Andy Pants is okay, but much rage bait.
Just like every other guy in this target.
Yeah, like, and I don't know. I'm very certain that Andy Pants is not going to last very long, especially with the crazy stuff I've seen him post. And I haven't played his game, nor have I seen video of his. I tried finding somebody do an honest review of his game, but I did see a lot of people on X posting about it, and apparently he used AI generated art to depict the main character, who's supposed to be him, depicting the lefties making CP of the main character's daughter. So there is AI generated CP in the game. I can't confirm or deny this, but that is a strong allegation. And if it's true, that is crazy to put even like an illustration of that, what, you know, regardless of whether it's AI generated or not, like putting that into the game just to show that the lefties are crazy, like that's just wild. Why would you even do that? Like you can get the point across by just mentioning it. You don't need to show it. Anyways, so I mean, hopefully that's not true, but from what like all these people saying online, it could be that one person said it and then everybody just started repeating it, but you know, allegedly.
Graphic, I too grew up as an innocent, impressionable child. As a boy, I consumed tons of media that glorified the same behavior that society at large now labels as toxic masculinity. And if you're watching this video, you're probably somebody like me, or you know somebody like me, and that means you probably grew up on stories involving men in spandex breaking criminal femurs, or women in chainmail and loincloths stabbing monsters with cool swords with other buff dudes in loincloths. And for a lot of us, we consumed all of it without the presence of a strong, real-life male role model to help us distinguish fiction from reality and learn what a well-adjusted, functioning man in the real world should look like and act like. The reality is that single mothers work all day to feed and clothe young boys. They plop them down in front of the TV, they put a DualShock in their hands, and they let Conan the Barbarian or Kratos or Rey Mysterio do the whole dad thing. And so that's why the games we played and the comics we read and the television we watched wasn't just a form of escapism. It was an example of who we are or who we should be. It's not just entertainment, okay? It's literally an essential piece of our core identity.
These people, the way in which they write these comics.
And I agree with what he just said, that entertainment is not just entertainment. Like, people will say that, oh, why you care? It's just a video game. Why you care? It's just a TV show. And the reality is that entertainment directs the is that too loud? Okay, entertainment steers the direction of society because of exactly what he said. Single mothers or whoever, like lazy parents putting stuff in front of their children. That's just one example. It doesn't even have to be that. It doesn't even have to be that extreme. Just the stories we consume will teach us the morals of ourselves. This is like storytelling is, I'm going to keep repeating the same thing. Storytelling resonates with human beings. We are meant for storytelling. And that when the stories that we consume are garbage, that's going to lead society towards a garbage direction. I still prefer opinions from someone like Handy Pants rather than someone who uses far left lexicon these days. But rage bait is flooding YouTube and social media. Yeah, and it's. I agree with you. Yeah.
They come off as, you didn't like the thing I liked.
Right.
This is an attack on the core of my being.
Which is what it is.
Yeah. They're not wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Despite themselves telling the truth.
Yeah.
Is it the core of their being? I mean, like, it's not. Well, okay, I'll partially agree. It's not the core of their being, but it's they see it as, these are my morals and these are what I believe in. And therefore, because that's what they believe in, they see it as themselves.
And yeah, guys, I hate to break it to you, but most of that content that we consumed as kids was really absolute garbage. It was garbage that was expertly designed to pull young men into a twisted, never-ending feedback loop of mean-spirited comedy and superiority complex. And sure, a lot of the games and other stories that we grew up with were pretty good too. Great, even. I'm a sucker for nostalgia just as much as the next guy, and I'm not writing off an entire, history of art and storytelling here. But let's be real, guys. A lot of it was pretty trash. And these games and movies and comics that are coming out today that so many people get so worked up over.
That's primarily why. That's primarily why, like, society is in the situation it is right now, because a lot of the media we consumed led us to this direction. I mean, when I was younger, one of the primary themes that was in movies, especially comedies, was like the whole like American Pie genre. Like the whole, you gotta sleep around with as many people as you can, and that led to the hookup culture that we see today. It was huge when I was younger. When I was a teenager, like, every movie was about that. It was about, you gotta sleep with everybody as many people as you can. You have to experiment. That was a huge slogan or thing that people would say. You have to experiment, and also taking, like, everything was about, like, smoking the recreational. Like, everything was about that back then too. Like, there was so many movies about that, and it definitely has shaped where our society is right now. Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power has class B. The values being promoted are mainly hedonism. Yeah, I agree with you. Angry chair, wisdom coming from an angry chair.
Yeah, a lot of it is, and probably most of it, is pretty trash too. But not all of it. There's still great stuff coming out all the time. And in my opinion, at least, games like the God of War reboot are modern classics. The first game absolutely blew me away. The second game actually made me cry like a little baby at the climactic ending. And I don't know, maybe that says something about me. But anyway, I'm serious, guys.
Again, never played it, so I don't know. But first one I really liked.
God of War games
The 2018 one.
aren't just mindless woke trash. They take us to another place, a place we can never go otherwise, a place where we can examine and question the big existential thoughts that we all have. Like, what does it mean to be a good father, or a good mother, or a good son, or a good daughter? They show us that a classically heroic man like Kratos can struggle to
I think those are important questions, especially like the responsibility of family. It's we're getting to the point where people have no respect for family members. They feel like there's no responsibility. Like so many people who have had bad experiences with their parents, and that they allow that to overshadow the fact that their parents worked hard to provide for them. Yeah, they might have made mistakes, had bad tempers, etc. But it's like they wiped your butt when you're a baby. When you weren't able to clean yourself and you would poop yourself, they cleaned you up. They fed you. Like when you were completely useless, they fed you and cleaned you up. And because we're getting to the point where a lot of people who are my age, around my age, are not even experiencing parenthood yet for a number of reasons. They don't put themselves into the shoes of their parents. So, you have like a lot of millennials who are single, who have no kids. They no longer respect their elders. They no longer respect their mothers or the fathers, especially the fathers, because father wasn't very good. He had bad temper. He had issues, etc. But aren't able to sympathize with the idea of, oh, even though my father was flawed, he did all these things for me, and I at least should have the responsibility of doing something now that he's old and weak. Good thing I missed a lot of American. Yeah, it was a garbage era.
And contain his emotions too. And they show us that looking for those answers and solving those problems in ways other than mindless rage and violence can actually bring us peace and help.
So you think legalizing beating children up would bring back society? I did not say that. No.
Us become better, stronger men in the process. And so this begs the question, what does it really mean to be a man? Like a real grown-up man? Is it beating up and screaming at people? Is it just banging a lot of hot chicks because you can? Is yelling at and hurting the people around you just because you're angry really what grown men do? Well, yeah, unfortunately it is a lot of the time in the real world, and in fiction too. But it's also exactly how a toddler behaves when they don't get their fruit snacks. Don't get me wrong, I can get behind those things being really fun and entertaining in the context of a video game, but why do so many men take all of this so goddamn personally? I mean, who exactly...
I already covered this when I looked at the other video, but yeah, anger is a motivator that can lead to the results when it's used properly. And like you said, when anger is unchecked, you're no different from an animal. So
are these
kind of
chicks
agree
and
with
midwit
that.
men haters? And who exactly hates who here?
In Cyberpunk, the better.
Yes,
Yeah.
my queen to shut up, bitch. Never change.
Well, we did listen to a woman for a long time. Yeah. We watched her whole video.
We did.
This video really made me wonder. So I started digging around their channel to get a better idea of where these guys are actually coming from. Because to be honest, I sort of suspected that their God of War video was satire. But as I dug further into their content,
Jenny D got super pissed at me for challenging her ability to play / run an AP game. She asked her fans what they wanted. They said AP, and she started to make excuses as to why. What is AP?
I don't know, but it's funny anyway.
It is funny.
The only thing I can
Yeah,
think
I was like, what's AP? Aliens versus Predator? P, like as in PORN, like, and then adults? I don't know. I'm not too sure what's AP.
adventure path, but I feel like that's not the answer. But either way,
Yeah.
you were almost certainly correct.
AP. Interesting.
I found more and more concerning messages on their channel. So, for example, this is a post on the Black Lodge Games community page. As you can see, we have a screenshot of Marisha Ray, who is the creative director of Critical Role, and a screenshot from an iconic scene from the movie Inglourious Basterds. It's a meme that accuses Marisha Ray, the creative director of Critical Role, the biggest name in the tabletop gaming industry, an industry that they share with Black Lodge Games, of being a fake gamer, all because she said scum save instead of save scum in a promotional
Okay,
video.
let me skip through this part. So I asked vidIQ to give me some timestamps so I can skip through some parts because of this video being a bit long. I'm at my 90 minutes, but let's go for another 15. Where does it say? It says no. 19. There we go.
The phenomenon in which the fictionalized elements of pro wrestling are destroyed by an anti-reality doomsday cult. Elephant Graveyard makes the very brilliant connection that all of these insecure men with bad or absent dads really love pro wrestling. And within the pro wrestling industry exists this concept of the Kayfabe, I think. Now, Kayfabe is a term used to describe the phenomenon in which the fictionalized elements of pro wrestling are presented as being real. In order for it all to work, the audience must buy into the Kayfabe. It's a delicate thing, and honestly, it's beautiful. To be honest, I used to just assume that pro wrestling was for trashy, dumb people. But I recently attended my first ever WWE Raw event. I went with my best friend who grew up with it, and he has always loved wrestling. And before I went, we were talking about it, and I asked him, like, what is the point of wrestling? Doesn't everybody know that it's all fake? And he simply responded to me, of course we do, but that's what makes it so much fun. And you know what?
Yeah, I mean, what his friend said, like, it's just like when someone watches anime. Like, yeah, it's fake, but it's fun. That's the whole reason of watching it. Like, it's not about like we're watching wrestling. I used to watch wrestling. Watching wrestling isn't about like who's actually gonna win. It's about the spectacle. Sorry, I'm lost again. I came in a little late. What is this guy going on about? So right now he's talking about kayfabe. He's explaining kayfabe for a reason. I'm not sure what his point is he's going to get to, but he's explaining what kayfabe
He was
is.
totally right. I became one with the kayfabe, and I had a
So the video he's criticizing these guys Black Lodge Games because they made a video on God of War, the newer two games, and basically saying that that God of War is emasculated. And right now, I guess he's building to a point. Talk about kayfabe. We can either vent it out in a simulated fantasy world and know the consequence and be respective in a real world, forgetting the moments of trouble, or stay frustrated with real life. Yeah, and you know that's part of the whole like escapism is one of the major reasons of entertainment in general is just to like leave our world and go into something else.
blast. It really is just like playing Dungeons and Dragons. It made me feel kind of hypocritical in the moment. We all know that it's kind of weird that we're sitting around a table, speaking in silly voices, playing with little figures, and pretending to fight monsters and save the world. But that's what makes it so fun, right? It's the buy-in. It's that mutual, unspoken suspension of disbelief that we all share. It's the kayfabe. And that's the real danger here. God of War is not real. D&D is not real. Professional wrestling is not real. Children often struggle to separate fantasy from reality. That's why I thought pro wrestling was just for dumb, trashy people. Remember? I didn't know any better. But that's a big part of growing up, isn't it? Healing from your past trauma. Accepting and understanding the cold, hard fact that while fantasy sure is fun, and it is art, and it is important, it is not real. Critical Role and Sony Santa Monica know this. That's why they create the art that they do. They help us escape this twisted hellscape we're all living in these days, and they allow us to explore and learn things about ourselves we otherwise couldn't or wouldn't. It's beautiful, man. I love it. But to so many insecure men out there, it's not a fantasy. It's real. It's everything they've ever known.
No, I don't agree with that. So his point that he's coming to right now is that this stuff's not real. But yet, just earlier he mentioned, like he was talking about how it shapes people, like, you know, it shapes who we are. Like he literally just talked about that earlier, but then he's talking about it's not real. And that goes to the same point I said about how people are dismissive of entertainment, saying, oh, it's just a game. It's more than just a game. Like entertainment is what steers society. It normalizes certain morals, it stigmatizes certain morals. You know, it creates stigmas, it destigmatizes, it normalizes, and it shapes who we are. This is why it's like really important for me to curate the like what exactly my kids watch. I'm not gonna just let them watch any garbage like Paw Patrol. Like I'll let them watch something that has some sort of a value, something that they'll learn from, like Wild Kratts, because it's you know, entertainment. They're saving the day and stuff like that, but then they also learn about animals and the things that animals do. That's a really bad take. Yeah. I remember my dad punched me in the face, but I love him. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to like be negative about my father. He had anger issues, but at this point, well, not just right now, but when I got into my 20s, I realized that both of us made mistakes. Like I was disrespectful as a teenager, and he also made mistakes too. He's human, and that's an important thing that I feel like a lot of people have to come to the conclusion that we're human. That your parents aren't going to be perfect, and you know, my dad went through his own challenges. He had to work a lot, and I understand. Like I'm feeling that right now. Like I have to work so much just to like, you know, get bills paid and, you know, put in all these applications. So it's like I'm really understanding firsthand like the struggles that my dad went through, and so that therefore I'm willing to forgive the fact that my father was imperfect. Like we're human, we're imperfect, and I try to show him love and respect because the fact that, like, you know, I should move on. Yeah, he had anger issues, but he also did a lot for us as well. Despite that, please don't let them watch Captain Planet. No way, no way. I didn't even like Captain Planet when I was a kid, man. That was garbage. I don't know. I have no clue why people my age are nostalgic for Captain Planet. It was garbage back then. The only reason why anyone watched it back then was because it was the only thing on during that time slot. There was nothing else on. And that's not an excuse for this bad you know, like the bad show. Let's skip to the next set of timestamps. So, okay, let's go to what is it? 38. Because we got quite a bit, but let's go to 38 to 48. 38, 48. Let's go over here. Because I don't want to make this video too long.
Are feeling insecure, who are feeling left out and angry about their situation and feeling like they're ready to just give up on
He-Man is good to watch. See, I'm a little too young for He-Man. Like when I was a kid, He-Man was like everyone had He-Man action figures, and I think it was still like there was reruns of it, but I didn't watch He-Man. Like everyone had a He-Man action figure except for me. How big of an impact had? Oh, excuse me. Hey, just a quiet, peaceful dance. Thanks for joining. And anyone in this chat, you know, please leave a like if you haven't already. Just to help boost the algorithm. How big of an impact had old children's tales like Grimm's fairy tales? I think stories still have massive impact on kids. They're just nothing of the same quality, really, and we underestimate how unfortunate it is. I completely agree. Like to say that it's all fake, it's dismissing the impact that entertainment has. There's a reason why, like Aesop's fables have been told for centuries, because Aesop's fables have morals. Like they talk about virtues, and the fact that those stories have virtues and morals, it adds value to those stories, and that's why they're constantly being retold. Like and the garbage stories that don't have any morals or anything, like Paw Patrol, 30 years from now, no one's going to care about Paw Patrol. It's going to disappear. Unlike Aesop's fables. Aesop's fables will still be told 300 years from now. I like He-Man designs and humor. I think there will be a beat 'em up. Yeah, I did see that there's like a beat 'em up game for He-Man.
Everything to hear from other men that like all the same stuff that they do, men that they can really relate to, that it is okay to want to be better. It is okay to want to change and learn from your childhood and grow. It's okay to cry. It's okay to be vulnerable. And it's okay to embrace the fact that not everyone looks in.
There's a time and place to cry. But men shouldn't cry all the time or any time. There's specific. I'm gonna choke my son. You gonna see some. You can see some violence. I hear my kid just singing outside my door. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh yeah, crying. There's a time and place. You did not miss anything. Not watching He-Man. Oh, I missed the chat. There is one of Phantom and Lady Death. Okay, let's see. All right, so what was I saying? Yeah, crying. Like men should not cry anytime. Like there's specific time and place. Like a funeral is completely appropriate to cry. But when you're just having a hard time, and your Phil at the workplace is being mean to you, you better not cry. You better get through it and like confront him. Don't cry. You're a man. Tell Phil, hey, that wasn't cool. I'm not going to put up with it. I'm a grown man. There's a time and place.
Sounds the way that you do, and that everyone who does look and sound the way that you do does not think exactly the same way that you do. More than anything, I want you guys to look at what these immature, outdated, and insecure ideas of masculinity have told us, and question whether or not it has ever been the truth, or if you've just been living in the kayfabe. So anyway, this entire video essay boils down to two very simple yet very complicated questions. What exactly makes characters like Kratos a man? And what exactly makes a story compelling? I feel so strongly that the ability to tell stories, just like making bread or starting a fire, is what separates man from ape. Storytelling is at the core of our humanity. Stories allow us to explore ourselves and others around us in ways we otherwise never could. Stories allow us to step into the shoes that otherwise would never fit us. And sure, it may not be comfortable.
Like this guy's giving contradicting messages. He's talking about how we need to separate fiction from reality, and then he also, like within seconds, he says that stories do all this. Like those are two like contradicting messages. You have to. There's like zero self-awareness with those two messages. There's no such thing as outdated for times. I completely agree. Timeless values are timeless. I have a meeting coming. Hey, thanks for showing up, Mr. Tito Butler. Hope your meeting goes well. Yeah. So like this guy in his conclusion, I know I skipped a big portion because I mean the video is. I don't want the stream to go too long, but it
may not feel right to.
He's summing up his point. So I hope I'm not taking him out of context, but he's literally saying two different things.
But when you step out of those shoes and back into your own, you will do so as a stronger, more well-rounded man than you were before. You'll be more comfortable in your own shoes than you were before too. And that's what makes a great story. Not the same thing that we've seen or heard 1,000 times before. Not something that confirms our own biases, that make us feel justified in our actions and inspire us not to think differently, but to remain exactly the same. That's honestly just lame. That's the real midwit shit, man. And don't get me wrong, I'm no saint. Like I said in the very beginning of this video, I am very much a dude, and I love being a dude, and I have my fair share of guilty dude pleasures. I'm a sucker for crime noir and detective novels, especially books from the 60s and 70s. If there's a mostly naked femme fatale smoking a cigarette on the cover, make no mistake, I am definitely going to read that book, and I'm probably going to love it too. And that's not to say that these stories themselves are bad or anything. They're usually pretty great in my opinion. I can see why they were so successful, especially in their time. But more often than not, these stories are full of language and characterization that would never fly today. But I love them all the same. I love them for what they are. But I also
Why would they not fly today? I want him to explain that. Why do you love these stories? And why do you think they won't fly today? I want him to explain that. Because I mean, like we said in the chat, who said in the chat? Timeless Saravan Balahi. There's no such thing as outdated or timeless values, and that ties in like with what he's saying right now. Why is that not gonna fly today? Is it because certain people won't like it? Who's right, you or them? Like I want him to think about this. He's not connecting the dots. He likes that entertainment, but he's saying it's not flying today because somebody else won't allow it. Confused dude he is. Yeah, exactly. Censorship. Safetism. Womanism.
how far we've come. Look,
not a great look for the company.
Sometimes find myself fantasizing about living back in those days, like the 50s, 60s, 70s. It all seemed so much simpler back then. It would have been awesome, I think to myself. Yeah, it would be awesome. For me, but for a lot of other people, for my wife, for a lot of my friends and family and colleagues and other people in my support system who aren't, straight white men, not so much. And that doesn't mean that I cannot enjoy these books. And it doesn't mean that modern stories that challenge these brooding, sexist, racist men I like to read about in my free time are a direct attack on who I am.
What? Why is he reading books that have men? I'm not going to repeat the words because that's going to start. You say those words too many times in the YouTube video. YouTube won't like it. But why is he reading books about men who hate women and men who hate other races? How come?
As a person either. In fact, men like myself should embrace themes and perspectives that we don't immediately relate with. Understanding the opposite side of the coin is an important part of any man's life. And I find
he is wrapping others in a bubble wrap to destroy fun for others. Yeah.
That reading, watching, or playing stories is the best and most fulfilling way to do it. Men should feel proud to show emotional vulnerability. It takes way more strength to cry and say sorry than it does to lash out.
That's a funny picture. I like that. But no, go back.
Vulnerability. It takes way more.
Hulk, sorry. I think this is hilarious.
Strength to cry and say sorry than it does to lash out in anger and rage. Because one requires thought, restraint, and reflection, and the other requires no thought at all whatsoever. And that's the real midwit shit right there. Anyway, that's all I have to say about this. If you made it this far, thank you so much for listening to what I have to.
All right, let's switch back to me. All right, so again, I did skip through a lot of his video because I just don't want this live stream to be too long. I'm already 18 minutes longer than I want to be, so I'm going to wrap this up soon. But I think he had some good points, but at the same time, he had points that contradicted himself and those good points. He's definitely very confused, especially with his contradicting points. The other guys, Black Lodge Games, they're probably serious. They made their goofy 5-minute video, and I wouldn't have, I already expressed how I feel about their video. I definitely didn't agree with it, but I wouldn't have gotten to the point where it's like, I gotta reply to this. I can't believe they have this opinion on this game. I mean, whatever. It's like, okay, you didn't like God of War, all right, and then I mean, to answer this question, gaming has an insecure men problem. No, I don't think so, because the example you took, the Black Lodge games, it's such a small percentage of the people. And yeah, there's definitely people who want more of this whole power fantasy stuff, and that's fine. But I also feel like people who just push for everything being power fantasy, they can't articulate why something they can't explain why a story is good or bad. They're going to say like, oh, midwit. Only midwits like this. It's clearly made by women, for women, and midwits. Okay, all right. Can you give like a deeper explanation as to what's wrong with this? Because like I said, I think Kratos does go through a journey of growth, and it's a relatable journey of growth of fatherhood. And I think that is a strong story to tell. It's a journey that can connect with a lot of people. Let me get with the chat before I start wrapping things up. If you want to ask anything before I close the live stream, go ahead and do this now. And again, what am I saying? Hit the like button. If you want to leave a super chat, go ahead and leave a super chat. I'd appreciate it. It's always appreciated. Let me scroll up just a little bit just to make sure that I did not miss anything. I want to make sure I read everybody's chat. That's a bulk dude, not a Hulk dude. They aren't rewriting those books. Old characters are being rewritten, though. Big difference. The ball guy is silly. Yeah, and the there's a reason why we come back to certain characters and certain stories and certain tropes keep being reused. Tropes aren't necessarily a bad thing. They can be good when used properly, but there's a reason why certain themes are constantly being reused, because we connect with them. Like friendship, responsibility, heroics, bravery. Like these are things that we could connect with, and that's why they're constantly being reused. And certain characters are known for displaying these traits that we can connect with. The whole point do attach themselves to media and games. It's like an identity to them. Exposition 33 want a lot because the characters are timeless in a ways that the story provide avenue for. I need to get around to that. Maybe in 2026 I'll finally play Expedition 33. We'll see. Just make a video of Silk Song sucks. Look how much hate you get. I mean, my Silk Song video did do pretty well, talking about how developers mad at it. Anyways, I don't see any more new chat. I appreciate all you guys. Let me make sure. Yeah, thank you all of you for showing up and participating in the chat. Let me just scroll through really quick just to make sure that I didn't miss anything. Okay, I don't see anything. All right. So next week, again, let me look at my calendar again. I'll probably not going to do it on Wednesday again next week. Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up, Mr. 10 Years. So When am I working? Why they have me work? Oh no, never mind. That's not. That's six. That's a 6-hour shift. Okay, that makes sense. I was like, why a 4-hour shift? Okay, so yeah. Not gonna do a live stream next Wednesday. So I'm probably going to do. Oh man, is the 25th is Christmas? Is it 25th? I don't know. I don't know when Christmas is. I don't celebrate it. So yeah, I'm probably going to do it on Tuesday then. So because I shouldn't do the live stream on a holiday because people, we love tacos. Hashtag. Oh, I'm glad you love tacos. I love tacos too. I love lots of food. I love food too much. I've been trying to get back into shape now that so I got into the warehouse job and then I hurt my back for over a month. It was flared up and I was in pain, and finally the pain has reduced like 90%, 95%. So I'm able to start working out again. I need to get that kettlebell today and start swinging the kettlebell. I was doing some cardio the last few days, so now I'm finally trying to get myself back into shape. And yeah, that tangent was because we love tacos. I think about food's my weakness. But anyways, next week I'll probably do a Tuesday stream rather than Wednesday because I can't work. I'm working Wednesday, and Thursday would be a bad idea, so probably Tuesday. Anyways, thank you everybody who joined the live stream. I appreciate you all. I know this got a little long. It's 2 hours long now, but I appreciate all you guys. And yeah, thanks again. Take care. Salam.